I hope everyone is having a happy Sunday. I'm going to keep an eye on the population numbers, which they give us up here in the upper left. And I'm going to wait until we get a decent amount of people before we start taking questions. So I will keep track of them. However, I do have an interesting story for everyone. Once we get a few more people, I'll share it so that I don't have to continue to reiterate it. I just accidentally figured something out about YouTube. And I think a lot of you would like to know this. Now, as most of you know, we're up to about 50 people now, and it keeps climbing. I don't normally do lives. So going through the process with the webcam on this computer is something I'm not familiar with. When you go through the process, you have to change the status of the live from unlisted to public. Now, that's important to remember. I had forgotten to do this initially. So I clicked go live and had set up the title and everything. And I'm noticing now, I don't know if you can see this, but in my upper left, I have two little icons, one that shows how many people are watching and one that shows how many people have liked it. So I sat and watched that number, and usually I had gone live before a few times, a long time ago. And usually, initially, like right now, we're up to 85 people. It'll start to populate nearly instantaneously. It didn't populate, and I didn't realize I hadn't set it from unlisted to public. It was still on unlisted. Now, here's the weird part. You ready for this? I'm sitting there and I'm just talking like normal. I'm thinking, okay, it's Sunday morning and nobody's watching YouTube or whatever. Nobody's watching my channel. It's just going to take a minute. It changes from 1 to 2. Now, how could that possibly be on an unlisted video? Unlisted videos aren't public. Nobody could have possibly had the link. You see, as soon as I went live, within 2 minutes, a human being at YouTube was on it, watching my video. Now, I initially started talking about unlisted, you have to have the link. Yes, it was online, but the only people who could have watched it were the people with the link. I had literally just clicked go live. No one could have had the link but the people in San Bruno. Private means, yes, it doesn't matter whether you have the link or not. Only I can watch it. And the people in San Bruno. So hello to everyone, everywhere you are, by the way. But this is a big deal because this shows that there's not an automated system that's demonetizing videos. Now, I didn't finish the story. So I realized what was going on. I'm like, oh, I must have forgotten to set it to public. So I stopped the stream. And then, as you know, when you're done recording a live stream, it then becomes like a normal video. All it has to do is process. So I went into YouTube Studio, and lo and behold, literally immediately, it had been demonetized. It had the little yellow icon next to it. Now, I had talked for 5 minutes, and that's it. 5 minutes. How could that possibly have been something demonetizable? You see, this goes to actually what I was going to talk about today. Reason you're seeing me sitting here with a full face cover and a hat with a generic black background with only my channel logo on it is because this is what is really going on. They aren't demonetizing content. They are not demonetizing content. They're demonetizing people. We talked about this last night at Twitter. You see, what happened, not Twitter, pardon me, Twitch. It's not just political talks, guys. It's the people talking. because I had this conversation with another person on YouTube. They asked me, how do all of your videos stay monetized when you talk about the same things I do and all my stuff gets demonetized? It's real simple. I said, I just use basically a slideshow technique. I never appear on camera. They're not demonetizing your content. They're demonetizing you because they don't like the way you are speaking. C63. No, they wouldn't remove you completely for a very good reason. You see, because then they would have a lawsuit on their hands. You see, here's what they want. Here's their goal. People, they don't, I know, right? Exactly. They thought in the last election, you see, because this all started in 2017. It wasn't like this. I started doing videos in 2016. And it's not just the truth, B. Smith. Um, it's the person speaking the truth. Because, like I said, when I don't appear myself, but I say the same things as other people who do appear, my videos, they take a little bit longer to go through review and get monetized. I stay monetized. That's why you see ads eventually on videos. But other people completely demonetized. Why? Here's what they're doing, and this is how simple. Tommy E, this is exactly what we're talking about. Just hang with us. They use facial recognition software. They're not demonetizing content, they're demonetizing people they can identify. Because you don't pay content, you pay people. So there's absolutely no reason why, if I say something, and I'm using a slideshow technique where I'm just showing links and images, there's no reason that that exact content, when someone who appears on screen like this says it, should get demonetized. And that is the case because I talk with other YouTubers, and there's a lot of heartache and grief that gets caused about it because they ask me, how do you stay, are you some kind of secret person? And, do you have some secret to staying monetized? And it's hard. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult. Okay, Gladius Maximus. They may, at some level, know who I am, but you have to remember something. The AI is the one in charge. XRXX, are you going to get the vaccine? I believe in crossing bridges when I come to them. I really do. I don't make decisions like I did when I was a kid. Um, I make decisions that I believe are the best for my family and my loved ones. So, Tommy E. Okay, the reason that they shut you down was because you said better than a mask. If you had just said turmeric is really good and maybe left the mask part out of it, and that's the other thing too. You never see me post on Facebook. Facebook is impossible. Facebook is impossible. Occasionally over there, I will share a link from like an Antarctica video, but you'll never see me post over there. And there are no friends. And it's not that I don't like people, it's just it's the wrong platform. Does the military have 10G or something for a weapon? The only thing Mega Xenu that they have that could be construed like that is called a LRADS, long range acoustic deterrence system. And it basically just uses really low sound waves to affect the human body, but they've had that for years. But thank you again to everyone who went over to Twitch and followed me over there. We've already made the affiliate requirement for 50, and now all of the other requirements are basically up to me. Dentasia, I would seriously totally agree with you. Stop using Facebook. The only reason I have a Facebook is so that somebody doesn't try to co-opt the Florida Maquis and pretend they're me over there. That's the only reason I have one. Okay, how well do you think face coverings can distort facial recognition? Incredibly well. Incredibly well. Had to wear one of these in South America and worked like a charm, especially if you have different ones. Is it getting harder to search stuff? Yes, and much harder to find things. Incredibly difficult. Doesn't matter whether you use Bing or Google or DuckDuckGo or anything like that. Yes, flowers in her hair. Please do. Live streaming um, Middle Earth Shadow of War. We're going to be doing that every night, 1 hour on YouTube for now, and 1 hour on Twitch. So, Green Arrow, incredibly smart. If I didn't have to keep the placeholder for the Florida Maquis, I would too. I would absolutely do it. Okay, connecting via UPN, that's their VPN, that's a myth. That's an absolute myth. They can track you wherever you're at. Doesn't matter. So that's why I put Palm Coast. Doesn't matter. Wool and linen, that's historically absolutely correct. The truth behind, everybody has their own version of the truth on that. So, it depends. DuckDuckGo better than Google. Joanne Robinson. I use Google a lot, but then again, I'm just looking for slideshow images. So it just depends. You're welcome for the masks. I do the very best I can. Dude, did you address the EOs on taxes? I don't know what EOs is. I'm sorry. Executive orders. Okay. Um, Not really, because I think it's a tactic he's using just to get them back to the table. Because you can rescind a executive order. And I've been, for those of you talking about VPNs and stuff like that, I've been on for 4 years, maintain monetization, um, hiding your IP. They can, like I said, there's nothing that's going to hide it. From the people you're trying to hide it from, you're not going to hide it. Sandy, we were talking about this. What's with the mask? You have to protect your identity because you can't. They have facial recognition everywhere, and that's also why I have the hat. It's just you have to. You will never see me appear full face uncovered in a video. Years and years ago, when I was just doing music, you can actually find it on YouTube. Kind of grainy. It's just me on my couch playing a guitar. That's you know almost impossible to identify. It wasn't a tactical nuke in Beirut. If it even the smallest tactical nuke, there would have been no footage of it. Not from the distance they saw it. Thank you, Anomalous Sapien. Yeah, long ago, but I'm proud of my time in the Army. Brenda Murray, if they want to look, I'm an Army vet. If they really wanted to come get me that badly, they would. Right now, I'm defeating a for-profit platform and their basic techniques. CJ Wright, I'm going to try to do this on Sundays. So, saying, really don't think it was a attack nuke in Beirut. It's just too small of an explosion. Big explosion, but even the littlest tactical nuke, there wouldn't be any electric. Nazara Gizara is one of those things I'm just not going to get into. It's too complicated. I'm sorry. I try to answer all the questions I can, but Starlink is not a weapon. It's an annoyance, but it's not a weapon. Let's see where are we at here. 14 minutes. Take down your video about Fitbits. It's so far back, even for me to go try to look for it. It's up. It's there. It's just I should have labeled it better. Okay, a Moab. Okay, yeah, very close to a Moab, yes. But if you saw the difference between a Moab and an actual TAC nuke, it's not even close. So don't worry if you're late. Of course, all of these lives get uploaded as real videos. So please don't compare me to Mark Sargent. Just not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree. Yeah, you can see me sing, but it's it's real grainy, and those are really old videos, so I don't think anybody um, cares too much about it. A vacuum bomb, they do. They have vacuum bombs, absolutely. But that was just a whole lot of ammonium nitrate going boom. There's no air to ground munitions. I don't know what video you saw, Anomalous Sapien, but I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens, and that was basically just ammonium nitrate, a whole lot of it going boom. Okay, questions like, what about the Satanist cult? That's not a question. That's just trying to command a subject. Antarctic situation, they know. They absolutely know what's going on down there, and they're doing their best to keep it quiet. The whole point of my doing the videos was to show the physical evidence of what they're keeping quiet. And oh, by the way, on that topic, I do have an Instagram, and it's not up now. It's the account is up, but there were jets circling above Lebanon every single day, which is part of it. And no, it wasn't a mini hydrogen bomb. I wish I could put this in perspective. There would have been nobody who was that close to the explosion that would have gotten video. They would have been incinerated. The entire city would have been leveled, even with the smallest tactical nuke. Beirut's not that big. And yes, I'm going to do more Antarctica videos. But real quick, all of the images from Antarctica that we've shown, I'm going to upload to a new um, Instagram account that I've set up. So, once again, not a thermonuclear device. That explosion was way too small. That explosion was, there would have been nobody, there would be hundreds of thousands, tens, if not hundreds of thousands, dead and dying, even with the smallest tactical nuke. And no, the mask will not kill you. Been sitting here for 18 minutes. Really fine. Guys, Sturgis, South Dakota, for example, guys get on bikes, they put masks on their face, and they ride for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And while they're there, they run around in masks. And yeah, it was an accident. You just can't store ammonium nitrate like you store cases of water. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it a munitions box or C-63 for the amount of explosive material they had, but it's just, nobody's putting it in perspective. Nobody would have had a camera. There would be no cameras within a half a mile of any type of hydrogen or thermonuclear explosion. Everything would have been incinerated. Everything would have been leveled. Even that little one that hit Hiroshima, 13 kiloton, which is small compared to what we have now. Everything, yeah, exactly. Alberta skies, they'd have been vaporized. There'd be radiation all over the region. There'd be there'd be no protests. There'd be no riots. There'd be no people out in the streets if there had been a thermonuclear explosion. Well, this is all Keegan Fogg about the pandemic. This is all about an election. This is all about an election. You watch, after the election's over, everything's going to change. Everything is going to change. You know, if you don't believe it was an accident, I mean, what did they hit? I mean, what did they hit, really? They didn't hit any strategic target. I mean, it was just in the middle of the city. If it was a planned thing, you would think that they would hit something strategic. So just looking at it from a tactical point of view. Yes, Susan Becker, Lebanon was a tragic learning event. Absolutely. Right. But I mean, if you're saying that people are saying, well, the air that I exhale is trapping carbon dioxide. You're saying all those bikers driving down the road, all the way to Sturgis every year, the entire time are dying of carbon dioxide. Nobody complained about it before. See, nobody complained about wearing masks before the government said it's a good idea. That's pretty much it. Same thing with kids. They'll probably eat something until you tell them it's good for them. And once again, it, it's a tragic event, absolutely. But ammonium nitrate, we've seen fireworks factories explode all over the world every few months, or maybe a couple times a year, at least once a year. This was just their turn. It just happened to be a port. John Prine is awesome. Tony Everett's really great stuff. Right, wind in their face. That's great. The wind's coming in, but they still got to exhale, don't they? And when you go to Sturgis or especially Daytona, you see these guys walking around with masks just like what I'm wearing all day long, and they do it in the Daytona heat down there, even when they're off the bikes. And the guys in the jungles in Colombia and Venezuela, all those guys wear masks, all of them, all day long. So anyway, 270 concurrent viewers. This is actually rolling along pretty well, better than I thought. The color of the fireball has to do with the iron content. That's pretty much all that is. It's just it was old ammonium nitrate stored improperly, and it's I mean, or wherever else you're going to store all that ammonium nitrate, fireworks factories. I mean, look at the explosions that they make. When you see those they look exactly the same. Now, the fireworks factories that we see are usually way out in the middle of the desert, so you don't have the context of all the other buildings. New going on in Venezuela. They just ruled that they can appeal that gold being seized. So that's the newest thing there. And look, Tam Tam, anyone who doesn't want to wear a mask, no, don't. You're gonna stick out like sore thumb. I'm more concerned with anonymity and blending in. When I go get groceries, I can handle it for 45 minutes. I can handle it for 45 minutes. I can go to the store, make my list, get my stuff, get out of there. And I've been sitting here now talking pretty much nonstop for the last 23 minutes. Do you see me? Is my face getting red? Am I breathing heavy? I'm a 50-year-old guy. Talk about Antarctica. What do you think will happen there in the next 6 months? Would you go there? I'd definitely go there. Absolutely would go there. Um, as far as Antarctica goes, it's the biggest secret in the world. When it's revealed, history is going to record that there was the pre-Antarctica revelation world and there was the post-Antarctica revelation world. That's how history is going to record it. Fifth largest continent. People are going to do studies on it for hundreds of years. Why did these people wait this long prior to the revelation to go find this stuff? Cowboy, half of Lebanon's food supply, really? Who's reporting that? And like I said, Lebanon is not a huge place. Best boy scout, and the mask can't be a long-term solution. You know, you can wear a mask. You could have worn a mask prior to this. You see, you have to have intent to commit a crime for the places that have it as illegal to wear a mask. You can wear it. You could have worn it before. The propaganda on Venezuela, people are still trying to run that stuff out and make it stick against the wall. The whole dictator thing. It's almost a never-ending war. Flowers in her hair. What is there at the pole? There's an entire civilization under that ice. It's under miles of ice, and they're incredibly advanced. Heard of reverse speech? Never heard of it. I wish I could speak on it. Sean Stark. It would. I don't even know what that means. Okay, Karen Lynn. My tomato outside bloomed, but no fruit. Exact same thing happened to me. I planted this tomato plant. It got huge, 7 feet tall. I had one little tomato, and it fell off when it was still like barely the size of a tennis ball, still green, and not single one all year. But I have had literally a dozen eggplant. So, and they're still growing like mad. Okay, Jean Claude at Beyond Mystic. It was poorly stored ammonium nitrate. Okay, the UFO existence, they are coming from Antarctica. Period. There's civilization down there that has the ability to overcome the ice, overcome the harsh conditions, and they're incredibly advanced. The ice is never going to be eliminated. Never. It's it just has to do with the balance of nature. Everybody talks about asteroid strikes. I never try to predict any date setters or predictors like this. I have had a few peppers. I had a jalapeno that went crazy, and I've got some poblanos, but I don't actually have any bell peppers planted this year. Just poblano and jalapeno. You can get this mask on Amazon. Just search. It's called a neck gaiter. NECK space GAITER, and it just goes around your neck and then just comes up. Just search Templar, Knights Templar. Thank you if you've ordered masks from me. I've tried to design neck gaiters for Teespring. It's such a complicated because they're all over print. I have tried and tried and tried and tried to upload images, and their system is just screwed up. Do you think Florida? I think it's going to be a landslide for Trump down here with him with the anti-police attitudes on the left and the money issue with Disney. It's going to be a landslide down here. So anyway, not too bad. 267 concurrent viewers, half hour in. So trying to think of anything else in the news that's at least relevant. So thank you. Thank you. Yes, Nightwolf, I do think they're going to pick Val Demings. I think there's a war going on right now in Joe Biden's camp because they think that there are people other than her that are better qualified for the position. Then there are other people that are going to say it's not going to matter how qualified they are if he loses. If Biden loses Florida, it's over. That's why they're begging. Like, it has to be Val Demings. If Biden can't win Florida, he can't win the election. It's just that simple. That's why Trump said, by all means, let the mail-in voting begin in Florida, because he knows how lopsided it is. They can't even cheat their way out of this landslide. For Sakes Alive, this is the first time I've actually done this ever with me appearing on the screen. So if you didn't know I was live, it's the first time. So if they don't pick Val Demings, they're screwed because everybody else is. And this is the other thing too. Who cares about cheating in New York, New Jersey, anywhere up east, or California, or the West Coast? They're already lost. They're absolutely. It's not going to be Hillary Clinton. Those are lost causes. Let them cheat. Doesn't matter whether they win by 1 vote or 1 million votes. The only place that anybody should matter or care about is Michigan. There's a dark horse from Michigan with Whitmer because that's another swing state. So Valerie Jarrett. What does Valerie Jarrett bring to Biden as far as something he didn't have electorally before? These are all liberals from liberal states. They don't bring him anything. Tam, I hear this. Your vote doesn't count. Really? What happened in 2016? The reason I'm sitting here in a mask right now is because of YouTube's reaction to votes actually meaning something in 2016 because Trump won. They were, just like now, they were just cocksure in 2016. It was going to be a landslide for Hillary. It wasn't even going to be close. They were just debating how close it would be when she beat him. The popular vote has never counted. The popular vote has never counted. We don't have a national election for president. This is why the cheating that the people talk about doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in California if they win by 10 million votes or 1 million votes or 1 vote. It's a winner-take-all state. Okay, but once again, that's if they get elected, Valerie Jarrett. Valerie Jarrett, right now, the mission isn't to govern. The mission is to get elected. Biden will never choose Obama. He's already said he's going to choose a woman, and I don't think Obama can even serve in the line of succession. Valerie Jarrett, once again, you're talking about how they would do their job after they got elected. That's not what's being considered right now. What's being considered right now is what can get Joe elected. And they need to win the electoral. This is what happened last time with Hillary. They're not going to make the same mistake again. Let's see. What do you think is a citizens could do to let the police know we have their back? They don't need to simply follow orders. Go buy them a gift card. Go buy them a gift card. 10, 15, 20 bucks, someplace random. They'll get the message. They'll absolutely get the message. I don't understand. Okay, goodbye for its sakes alive, but explain 2016. The disturbance in the forts, so to speak. See, what happened is here on YouTube, voices and people actually counted, and they swung an election. I don't think even Colin Powell would bring in Florida. You have to think about what's going on right now as what can bring Joe Biden to swing states? What can bring Joe Biden Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, Michigan, or Wisconsin? That's the only thing they're thinking about right now, those 5 states. And right now, the only person in contention that has any tangential association with any of those states is Val Demings in Florida. So It's pretty much a no-brainer. Yeah, you know what? Canine unit, go bring them a bag of dog food. Once again, if Joe Biden picks Clinton, they won't win the election. This assumption that it's already decided was the exact same thing they did 4 years ago. And people were saying the same thing then, and they were wrong. I think there were more conservatives that were shocked that Trump won than people on the left because they had already had their arguments made that their votes didn't count and they were selected, not elected, and Trump was this big outsider. Uh, and then all of their arguments fell apart when he won. I think Oprah honestly is done, just like the generous is done. After that little what she just said right now, people don't remember her audience, the one she always gave the cup away to, solid white people. Go tell her, yeah, a lot of people were shocked that Trump won, but the people that were trying to get him elected didn't have the faith in him to stand by it. They always had their backup plan ready to go. Well, if he loses, we know now that votes don't count and all this. Do you think if we screw this up really bad, Antarcticans will wipe us out and start over? Probably not wipe us out. That's why they just don't get involved with us. We're too backward. Yeah, Oprah's hubris did her. I hope you would say did her in. Oprah said that basically that white people always have their quote unquote whiteness as some type of advantage, no matter how poor they are, no matter how bad their life has been, no matter how successful any black person is. The white person who's worse off is still better off than the most rich, wealthy black person, generally speaking. And you get a card too, right? Yeah, the idea here, thank you very much for compliment, Alex Patriot Newts. You just got to maintain anonymity. Yeah, pushing the shame whitey card. And like I said, to be clear, if it wasn't for what happened in the last couple of months, I would have stuck by my um, opinion to either sit it out or let Biden take over. But now that I know Biden is going to be controlled by people who want to destroy civility in this country, and get rid of the police, no way. One second. You have to be careful. If you're drinking something out of a can, it has a brand on it, and you put it in alive, it can be a problem. So I should have probably poured it in a glass now that I think about it. Yeah, equally worthless. Exactly right. You know, Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, because that's another point. If I had tiptoed around, I was attached to the 7th Light Infantry Division back when they were at Fort Ord. There were a lot of guys, all infantry, light infantry, black guys. If I had tiptoed around them verbally about not saying this or not saying that, because I thought they would have looked at me like I lost my mind. They would have looked at me like I lost my mind. They weren't. I don't get it, and I know a lot of my age still don't get it. That this, and yes, there is. There's absolutely a mouth hole in this mask. You see, this is another thing people don't get. The people who are asking you to wear a mask aren't going to be policing you. What a cheap way for you to get your mental stimulation response, muscle exercises times 10. Not really sure what even that means. Don't look down. Why? Right. Anyway, so what I'm saying, if I walked into the store like this with a hole, so and the reason, by the way, there's a hole in this mask is because it messes with the microphone when I'm playing the game. I have a headset with a mic and it sounds like trash. But I could walk to the grocery store like with this thing on, and people would generally glance, go, okay, he's wearing a mask, and not think about it. They're not going to look really, really close and see that I have breathing holes. Guys, the only reason I'm selling the masks, two reasons. One, so that you don't stick out like a sore thumb and have somebody get an excuse to screw your day up. And second of all, you have the ability to help get Trump reelected. You are not going to get hypoxia from wearing a mask. You see, that's the kind of stuff, Mike, that you just can't, and you're not going to get CO2 poisoning. That's the kind of lies that gets people blocked from the channel. You're not going to get, I wore one of these things 14 hours a day in a jungle. You're not reabsorbing your own current infection. Because if that were the case, simply exhaling should cure you because you're exhaling your infection, right? Just sit there and breathe real heavy and you'll breathe out the disease and get better. Right? Walk into a bank wearing one of these. Yeah, I've heard this too, that masks cause lungs to collapse. Really? It's well, if they don't allow political masks, I have all sorts of ones that aren't. Some that share the gospel of Jesus Christ. Some that are just fun. We did a saw mask yesterday. We had a one that's kind of like a lizard. Wear a respirator at work 12 hours a day sometimes. Right. Have you died yet? No. You see, nobody had a problem wearing masks until the government told them to. Nobody had a problem. It wasn't a satanic ritual. Nobody was saying that all nurses and all dentists and all doctors and all surgeons were all participating in some satanic ritual prior to this. Oh, okay. So you had a lung collapse from hospital-acquired pneumonia, not from wearing a mask. Okay. But some people are saying that if you wear a mask long enough, it'll cause your lungs to collapse. Storm Antarctica. Yeah, that would be great. On the surface? No, not on the surface. Used to work in the operating room 10 hours a day, and here you are, alive and well. Imagine that. Masked up, hat, gloves, completely covered, hand sanitizer, way in, way out. I mean, and nobody said a word about it. Not a YouTube video about it, nothing. So where are we at here? 44 minutes. Make Antarctica great again, if only. If only we had the logistics and the finances. Pre-virus conditions and 1 to attempt to limit this acquiring CV-19 should be all right and no grief for it. You know, this reminds me of everybody talking about the, well, I have this and I have that and I have the other. It reminds me of the Nicole Arbor video when she talked about the dear fat people thing. She literally led the video and said, this is not directed toward anybody who has some type of a condition that makes you overweight. She's talking about the 40% of North Americans who are overweight just simply because they overeat and don't exercise. And she still got canceled, even though she said because people said she was attacking people who had conditions. Yeah, it is kind of funny. It's a different kind of socialism, Islam in China, but Islam is a theocracy. Yeah, it does. It should show your support for the Florida Maquis. Let's see, super chat, super sticker. Um, yeah, it looks like it. So anyway, I didn't really think about it, but the Twinkie defense. So anyway, but like I had said earlier, um, we're still going to do the videos during the week. To the very best of my ability, I'm going to do them. But at night, we're going to be streaming on Twitch, and we'll still be able to game and talk about stuff like this at the same time. And as I build audience over at Twitch, just like your YouTube, I qualify for different levels. There's basically two levels, affiliate and partner. Last night, blew by the affiliate requirements, and now I'm heading for the partner requirements. And after I complete a certain amount of hours of streaming on a certain amount of days, I will qualify. And I think, of course, once I make their qualifications and they look and see that I have a YouTube channel with 110,000 subscribers and pushing 40 million views, that there won't be any problem going to partner over there. Yeah, I don't know about the things that YouTube with Cash App. I don't know about that. So wish I did. Dose, hydroxychloroquine is a treatment cure. Treatment? If someone's going to die and they can't do anything for you, try anything. Try anything. Um, I don't get what the problem is with that. Well, I do get it. It's all about an election. If Trump says it, they're going to be against it. That's basically it. That's not true. When you are a Twitch partner, you can't stream on YouTube anymore. I've never heard that. I've absolutely never heard that. I know it's fact, not true, because I know people that stream on both. In fact, the PlayStation 4 I have, literally has built into it the um, software for streaming on either Twitch or YouTube. You can't stream simultaneously to both, but you can stream to one or the other. Well, yeah. Um, there's a channel called Potastic P, and they stream on, and they have MXR mods and MXR plays, and they stream on Twitch, they stream on YouTube. So yeah, it's and if it's just a streaming requirement, then fine, I won't stream on YouTube. I mean, if that's really the case, but because streams here, literally, I guarantee this one's demonetized. Because, like I said, I explained very early in this video, I had made a mistake and was streaming unlisted, but then somebody showed up. And clearly it was somebody from San Bruno. And immediately demonetized it. Talked for 5 minutes and they demonetized it. Well, you see, and that's the other thing too. Even if hydroxyl whatever works, these are private platforms. YouTube is a private platform. It's not a utility. It's not a utility. It's not a utility because there are other platforms like we're talking about that you can use. You can use Twitch. You can use DTube, you can use BitChute, you can use all sorts of stuff. So they can make whatever rules they want to. So can Facebook. So can Twitter. And they are private organizations. That's why there's no First Amendment at YouTube. This isn't a government-run channel. How much time do we have to bug out, brother? Well, always be ready. Always be ready. Never say, well, I'm going to wait to be prepared for a month or 2 months or 3 months. I'll tell you what, if you saw how hard it was just to do a 10-minute video where you continually walk around all the landmines and then upload it and then try to make sure your thumbnail isn't offensive and that no words in your title are offensive and nothing in your description is offensive, and then watch it still get demonetized by the AI and then have to do a review and then wait for it to get reviewed. It's insane. And this is what they're just trying to do. They're trying to make it so hard that people quit. So doing one every day, and some people who try to do videos like just twice a week, they have no chance. They have absolutely no chance. Twitch is not just one thing, flowers in her hair. It depends. It really depends. It depends on the audience that you're aiming at. If I were aiming at a much younger audience, absolutely. But it's not specific. I know, Lord of Winter, everything is offensive. They don't allow links here, and I don't allow them in my comments either. So I'm just trying to change things up, Pam Pam, over here, because a lot of people have questions for me. So I figure, why not once a week? Sit down and answer the questions. So, I mean, at this point, 4 years into my channel with 100,000 subscribers. Okay, PsyOps videos. That's something I got to watch. It really is. Patreon would be the only place they are. So we might do one as we get closer to the election. I was going to wait until the announcement from Biden to do another one, but we'll see. I haven't stopped doing them, so it's just one of these things with trying to keep up with YouTube, trying to keep up with Twitch, also Patreon, also the masks. I mean, it just gets to be a lot. So, and yeah, they are in place to track you, but if you are willing to put the time in, you're willing to put the effort in and put up with some bullshit, which is a lot like the military, by the way, you can do okay. You can do okay. You just have to be flexible. Improvise, adapt, overcome. So, just saying, we're 53 minutes here, so we're going to probably wrap it up here in the next 6 minutes. So, anybody with any questions that you haven't asked yet, the problem is, here's another thing about those alternative platforms. People will report you to YouTube for content that you put up on another platform. And then YouTube will go look at it. And then even if it's not on their platform, they'll take you off anyway. Yes, Gerard Jones, on Sundays, once a week, probably around noonish, so everybody can have time to go to church. Get home and Skynet. Don't know that I even have an opinion on it. I'm not sure exactly. That name is used for a lot of different things. Different levels of tracking. I only speak meme. different levels of tracking. Yeah, I've got my phone right here. So meteor, asteroids, like I said, I don't get into predicting astronomical events. Companies that offer privacy, they offer limited privacy from certain things, but there really is no way on the internet to have 100% privacy, not in the United States. All right, let's see here. The civilization under Antarctica, 2,000, 3,000 years, in that range. There's multiple, like here, primarily the leftover Lemurians and what we would refer to as the Atlanteans. Is an EMP really going to knock out cars? I mean, it can. I very much doubt it. Any water blocks EMPs. So if there's any moisture in the atmosphere, there's a huge storm and an EMP goes off, it's not going through a thunderstorm. Anomalous sapien is Teespring, www.teespring.com / I guess it's Florida Maquis masks.store. So not too hard to find. If you just go to any of my videos, there's a little bar right underneath my videos that has all those. Don't have any information about the Mahdi. Seed sent from China. It was an Amazon scam doing shipping things so that they could confirm something got shipped and get a tracking number so that they could write fake reviews. That's all they were doing, trying to build up fake companies to build up fake reviews so that they could just get more traffic on Amazon. Was Israel involved with Beirut? No. It was poorly stored ammonium nitrate, and it went boom. When is the blackout? It'd be very hard to do a nationwide blackout given all the different power grids. Skynet AI blocking chain, I just don't know enough about it. Homegrown USA, what made you start YouTube? Back in October of 2016, I was just a guitar guy. Beirut was not a bomb. It was a kind of bomb. It was the way they were storing it, turned it into a bomb. Anyway, I saw something happening with the Electoral College that I didn't see anyone talking about. That both candidates at that, now this is back in 16, Trump was not really popular with the Republicans at that time, and Clinton was not really popular because more people wanted Bernie. So it wasn't, people were still under this delusion that somehow the popular vote was going to be, relevant. Unlike these electors, people that actually vote at the Electoral College are party insiders, lifelong Republicans and Democrats. And with both Trump and Clinton both being so unpopular within their own ranks that you would see electors bolt and revolt. And that's exactly what we saw. And if you look back, I was actually the first person on YouTube to speak about it. October 28th, 2016. Try to find a video that predates mine. You won't. I think that's probably why the channel took off so much. So anyway, 59 minutes. Joseph Nobles. Yeah, there is no expectation of privacy anywhere, literally, these days. Just like the military, though. So, all right. Pretty much close enough here. Thank you, everyone. God bless all of you. I appreciate it. No one is censoring you, MJ. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm literally just sitting here. See? Don't have that ability. It's YouTube. So, but yeah, tonight, stay tuned. We will be live streaming Middle Earth Shadow of War again, and hopefully we'll do better than we did last night. We got clobbered. First night we killed them. Last night they killed us. So hopefully we can turn the tide. 1 hour on YouTube, and then we're going to switch over, of course, to Twitch to continue to build that platform up. So, all right, we will end the stream there. God bless. Have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you a little bit later. Talk to you soon.